We'll call this meeting to order. If we can get a roll call.
Matt. Present. Derek.
Here.
Neil, present. Jared. Here. Lane.
Here. All right. Part C, flag salute and prayer, led by Neil Cass.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Bow your heads for prayer. Heavenly Father, we gather today with grateful hearts, seeking your wisdom and guidance to make decisions for our school community. Bless our board members, educators, and staff, and students with your peace and strength. Grant us discernment to act with fairness, compassion, and integrity by always prioritizing the well-being and growth of our children. May our words and actions reflect your love and truth, fostering a nurturing environment where every student can thrive. We place this meeting in your hands, trusting you to lead us all we do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, part 2, public comment. All right, moving on to part 3, presentations, operations update, led by Eddie Wright.
There we go. Good evening, and thank you for this opportunity. Excited to get a chance to just talk about what we've been doing the last 2 months in the operations department. It gives me an opportunity to brag on these guys right here. So I'd like to introduce you to Darnell Zook, Director of Maintenance, who is in attendance tonight. Randy Trail has just been hired as our lead HVAC. He's brought years of experience with him and has done a phenomenal job of getting with us and helping us solve some issues, but also he's really taking training to the next level. He's training some of our other guys that they can come in and be able to help in places where need, help troubleshoot and also maintain. Jeremy and Nolan Bousquet, they're brothers. They do a phenomenal job. Bill Calvary, Kason Engelken, and Fred Pyle all represent our maintenance crew. A couple of things that we really focused on, our major points of emphasis are HVAC systems. So we got here, we started getting and inventorying all of our systems. We're looking for age, for model, for anything that will help us to be able to plan for the next 7 years and get a real good PM plan to keep these things up. We clean intakes, exhaust vents, coils, replace air filters, and also order enough to have an inventory so we can have in stock. We've partnered with EEI, ESCO Mechanical, and Luckenbill to help us with service and repairs. One of the things that I love Randy for, he has done a phenomenal job getting into the systems and identifying how they work. He's helped us with some humidity issues. Just a real quick story. We were in a room, it was 78% humidity. He gets upstairs, gets into the unit, identifies how to operate it, does a couple changes that I can't really express to you what he did because I'm not knowledgeable enough of it. But we go downstairs and it's already at 40% humidity. And what he realized was on that whole building, it just wasn't set right to begin with. And so he came in and made the proper adjustments and we're just going in the right spot. So HVAC system has been huge. And what we're going to continue to do is inventory that so we can get it set in our district standards. So as we move forward for the new builds, we have a set of district standards that we can use for HVAC systems. Fire protection systems, number 2, we partnered with Fire Troll. We've gone through and identified every area where we have panels. We found 12 deficiencies with the help of Fire Troll. We're taking care of those deficiencies now. Inspecting sprinkler systems for damages, leaks, testing door locks and cameras. And we've partnered with the Piedmont Fire Department to make sure that all of our Knox boxes are done appropriately with the amount of keys that we need, drop keys and things that they need when they come to our site. Water and plumbing system has been big for us. District-wide inspection of all the water heaters that we have on all the facilities. We've got those inventoried. We've got the years, the BTUs, and we're ready to keep those going as long as we can or make a plan to replace where needed. Boiler room inspections. We have identified a couple boilers, actually had a few replaced most recently. Stone Ridge is up and ready to roll, but we will continue to do that throughout this process. We installed a new water meter and a new line leading into the high school. That was much needed. And we've partnered with Any Hour Plumbing to identify these issues and help to make the repairs that are needed. Electrical systems, getting in and testing the breakers, inspecting plugs, switches, breaker boxes, checking electrical equipment for damages. Partnered with Grimes Electric for a lot of our service and repair. One of the cool things that they did, we came in and found a sequencing issue that was happening in the high school science labs that haven't been used in a while. They were able to come through, identify that new sequencing. Really wasn't a repair needed. It was just helping us be more knowledgeable of our units, and we've got all of our high school science rooms up and ready to go. And then finally, just a inspection of the interior and exterior of all our facilities, really looking for the safety of the students and the faculty involved. We want to create an environment where success can be realized for all, and a safe environment is what we're looking for. So we've inspected bleachers, gutters, playground equipment, parking lots for damages, standing water, anything that's compromised for safety, steps, railings. We inspect locker rooms and restrooms to ensure regular cleaning and disinfectant, as well as desktops on the classrooms, and we've partnered with OBS, who are doing a phenomenal job as custodians throughout our district. Inspect doors, windows, roofs for any leaks. We're partnered with Universal Roofing as well as Coriel Roofing to identify those leaks and get those repairs made. In about 3 weeks, we're going to start on a complete overhaul of the high school roof, where they're going to come in and put a cap over our existing roof. Both the manufacturer and Universal are going to do that at no cost to the district. We've implemented a regular pest control system our pest control program, to make sure we take care of all that when it comes to threat of health or damage to any of our structures. And again, we partner with Universal and Coriel, as well as Lingo Construction. Lingo is going to come in and they're going to caulk all the outside interior for our windows and the things where we've had some issues with water getting in. So really proud of those partnerships, and they're doing a great job. Again, just want to brag on our guys. Our maintenance crew saw a need. Weren't even asked to do this, but they realized that the restrooms on the visitor side at the football field just were not up to par. They weren't up to our standard. And I didn't even know they were doing it. They just told me later they got it done. So phenomenal job of getting it ready to go for game one. And now we have a functional and really nice restroom on the visitor side. If you would have shown up 2 months ago in the parking lot at the high school, you would have seen 3 buildings. And I know this because they were all 3 different colors. So 3 different colors of exterior doors, 3 different colors of window trim, 3 different colors of top cap. We had some painters come in, and they have finished the project 2 weeks ago, but it really looks phenomenal. The doors pop, all the windows are matching, and so now it looks like a facility that was meant to be. Transportation. I'd like to introduce Josh Critchfield, Director of Transportation, who's in attendance tonight. He does a phenomenal job. Amanda Milner, Alicia Harmoning, and Joe Mitchell. The Transportation Department is doing fantastic. We started off with actually Josh, our head. He was out for the first week and a half due to some medical issues he was dealing with. His team stepped up and they managed this very, very well. We currently have 36 routes, 43 staff members. We have 14 new buses that were purchased in fiscal year of 25, and we returned 9 buses from lease agreement. Now we don't have any on lease agreement. I know that was Josh's goal, and he accomplished that. We serve over 3,100 students who ride a bus. We have 1,300 families who have signed up and are utilizing Stop Finder, our bus tracking app. And I love this, that we collaborate with our coaches. We have 33 coaches or directors who are certified as CDL drivers in case we have a need. But they also, that's awesome because they can get their students where they need to go. Finally, our athletics and activity department, Matt Schellenberger, Director of Athletics, who's in attendance with us tonight. Assistant Director Keith Coleman, Middle School Facilitator Summer Cope, Fine Arts Facilitator Laura Pope, Assistant Director Eric Ford, Administrative Assistant Peyton Eck, and then Tom Gilson, Strength and Conditioning Coach we stole from UCLA. So he's coming in and really fitting in well and doing a good job. We have lots of great things going in athletics that I just want to touch on a little bit. Our softball team just returned from a trip to Nebraska where they competed at a really high level, one of the top tournaments in the country. In doing so, they represented Oklahoma well at the KWNFCA Leadoff Classic. While doing that, our Pirate Middle School team won the 2025 Fire Lake Tournament, and they walked out as tournament champions. If you've been following our volleyball team for about 2 consecutive weeks, they were knocking off the top teams in the state, just knocking them off one by one, having some big wins against Choctaw, Moore, Edmond Santa Fe, Westmore. They're doing a great job. As of today, they're ranked number 6th in the state in 6A. Our football team has yet to be scored on in 2 games. They opened up with their 87-0 in the first 2 games. It was 7-0 at halftime against El Reno, and then you turn around and they're up 34-0. So congratulations to our football team and all of their success. Cross-country team traveled to Rogers State. They both finished top 5, boys taking 3rd place and girls taking 4th place. So that's all the updates I have for you when it comes to operations. Any questions?
That's awesome. We got some questions, I think.
No, that's a great report. Appreciate the information. Appreciate all you guys are doing and finding. And as we think about the 2 new buildings, are we thinking and looking at building automation for HVAC and different systems so that we can begin
Yeah.
controlling those from afar? And
That 100%. So EEI is one of our partners in that. They specialize in that. Also, when we brought on our HVAC lead, he spent the last 22 years in automation, so he's an expert at it. We're going to get those guys together, and that's something we want to do for the future moving on. We also, I'm glad you brought that up, we started adding automation to all of our refrigerators and fridges throughout the kitchens. Tommy, who is in attendance, I'm sure, started putting those in for us today, and we're already getting readings on it. So we understand the importance of seeing that so we can get on it before it gets too bad.
thank you.
One of the things that, to illustrate your point about that, that's not a particularly popular thing with teachers to be able to set that for a control range. But when we came over the summer, as soon as Eddie got here, one of the first things he had to take care of was mold and buildings that we didn't think we had any leaks in. Turns out it wasn't about leaks. It was about humidity because we didn't have the ACs turned on enough. And so we had to go in and keep the ACs running at a level that would keep that mold out. So that's a good point that we need to look at.
That was going to be my next question. What building was that where we had the 70% humidity?
That was Darnell Stone Ridge? Or ECC. Yeah,
Okay.
It was ECC. Yes, sir.
And we have a plan
And
in place to,
It's not the only place. We actually found that in others, but those units are the same. And so we're going in, they went through, and Darnell can attest to this, they went through every unit at ECC, reset the humidity to where it should be. One of the things we found, and we know to be true, is for every temperature, every 1 degree we go down in temperature, we go up 2% in humidity. So we really want to run at 72 when we don't have people in the classroom, and then drop it to no more than 68 and make sure that we keep it cool in there so we keep humidity where it needs to be. But that doesn't matter if our units aren't functioning correctly, and so now we've got them functioning correctly.
all right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Eddie doing a great job.
Thank you, guys.
Your team
Thank
did
you.
a great job. Thank you.
Great information. All right, we'll move on to item 4, business items. Part A, discuss and take possible action regarding fiscal year 26 estimate of needs.
Jennifer's going to walk us through that.
I'm sure you spent all weekend reading through all of those pages. But we are just going to go through the recap, and then if you have some questions, we can talk about those. So the first thing that we'll go through is the budget comparisons. So that's just a snapshot of last year compared to the prior year, what the difference is. So general fund, you can see our final carryover there was 6.2 million. That's up from 5.4 the previous year. And then just miscellaneous revenue estimates was up 189,000. Ad valorem tax estimate is up 885,000. So our total budget is up 1.8 million for general fund for this year. Building fund carryover went from 7 million to 3.2. That was because we took out that lease purchase for the roofs to get repaired, and that money is gone. So that accounted for that large carryover. So now we're back down to a more normal looking carryover at the 3.2. Revenue estimates are up about 20,000. Ad valorem taxes is up 126,000. So our total budget we're looking at for building fund is 5.9 this year. Child nutrition fund, our carryover is 1.18. It was 1.188. So we dropped a little bit, 70,000, but revenue estimates are up 94,000, and the total budget's up 24,000. That carryover that we're kind of keeping in child nutrition is to take care of some kitchen needs through the construction projects, and so that's kind of why we're trying to hold on to that for now. But you'll see that deplete as we start purchasing things for those new buildings as well. And then at the very bottom, our sinking fund millage levy is down 0.75. Questions about that? So the other page, the publication sheet, this is what we publish in the paper after you guys approve it and sign off on it tonight. And so again, it's just a more detailed view of kind of what we just went over, but it just gives you the details of all the different categories, function categories that we're expected to receive the different revenues in, and then what our carryover is for each fund. And then if you have questions on anything in the estimate of needs, I'm happy to answer.
Questions, comments?
Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you. All right, any other comments or questions or comments? All right. Make a motion that we approve the fiscal year 26 estimate of needs.
I'll second.
Motion by Lane, second by Jared. Can we get a vote?
Matt,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Neil, yes, Jared,
Yes.
Lane.
Yes. All right, moving on to item B. Discuss and take possible action regarding elementary and secondary mentor teacher assignments as listed on attachment B.
So this is a requirement by the state, but it's a good practice. This is for new teachers to the profession. So somebody that's in their first year of teaching, we've got 6, I believe.
How's the applicant pool look nowadays? Is it getting better? Y'all see that?
I hate to say this out loud, it's not been bad for us. Some places it's really bad. It's, in general, in the state, it's still a struggle. We've been very fortunate. We had all of our positions filled in June, which is unheard of.
Yeah, I think this program, if used the right way, can be very beneficial. I just remember going through a stretch of teachers that don't feel like they get enough support in year one. And so that's,
Yeah, there's no doubt. Patty, do you have anything to add? She does not.
Am I missing attachment B?
Yeah, I'm missing attachment B and
I
C.
don't think we have it there.
It's not attachment B, it's actually, she put it under the, what it's called, resident. Look for your
sit right here.
folder that says resident mentor teacher. It's all right, no problem.
Looks like this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I found it on the drive.
You find it?
Yeah. Any other questions or comments?
There are 5, not 6.
Motion to approve.
All right, got a motion by Matt. I'll second. We get a vote?
Matt,
Yes.
Derek. Yes. Neil, yes, Jared,
Yes.
Lane.
Yes. All right, moving on to part C, discuss and take possible action regarding fiscal year 26 rates of pay.
So we just started this about a year ago. Rates of pay, the reason we need this is that a lot of these are paid out of somebody's activity fund. And the athletic director might pay somebody X amount of dollars per hour for one thing, and then not having done that for a couple of years, may pay a different amount later on. Same thing for tutoring and everything. So everything that we pay out that's not in your contract is in the rates of pay. And then periodically, so we get that approved once a year, which is tonight for you guys. But there was one, the one that's in yellow there at the bottom was the only one, IT intern was changed, raised. Other than that, all those are what you saw before on that. So you won't see this again unless we add something or change something. And then we'll tell you what it is.
So these rates of pay continued in 24, 25. They're the ones that are current for this year.
That's right.
Okay.
So everything that we had last year, that's where we got this document.
Any other questions, comments?
I'll make a motion to approve action regarding fiscal year 26 rates of pay.
All second?
All right, got a motion by Neil, second by Derek. Can we get a vote?
Matt,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Neil, yes, Jared,
Yes.
Lane.
Yes. All right, moving on to item D, discuss and take possible action regarding memorandum of understanding with PAE Master Step.
So back when most of us got our masters, you either graduate in December or May. You might have graduated in the summer, but that's not the way things work now with virtual school. They might graduate any time. And so that's exactly what happened to our group of 22 graduates that were SNU that met in this room every Wednesday night for the last 18 months. And so they'll confer their degrees in, I think, October, November. And so they would have to wait till, on our calendar, they would have to wait until at least December to start getting paid their master's degree stipend. So what we've done is gone to the teachers union and said, let's do a memorandum of understanding that says that we can prorate that for the year. So we won't pay them the full amount. We'll pay them whatever the number of days that are left whenever that is conferred.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
I'm not sure it does.
Questions, comments? All right,
I'll make a motion, we approve the memorandum of understanding with PAE on the master step.
I'll second.
motion by Jared, second by Neil. Can we get a vote?
Matt,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Neil, yes, Jared,
Yes.
Lane.
Yes. All right, moving on to item E, discuss and take possible action regarding agreement with Capturing Kids Heart Professional Development, $24,500 in the general fund.
So that would actually be 29, but we received a grant from the Capturing Kids Hearts Foundation for $4,500 of it. Then just last Thursday, we received a $5,000 grant from our foundation, the Piedmont Schools Foundation. So, and then the guy that was spending his money on lunches around here, his name's Bob Henley from Servius Ministries. He's been a friend of mine for 15, 20 years, is giving us $10,000 towards that. So we're almost at $20,000 on $29,000 PD. It's going to cost us a little bit more than that, but I'd say, in the 10,000 range. It really depends on if we add, that price covers 50, but we can add up to 60 at $400 a person. And Lisa did that very thing on the last one when we just paid off Piedmont Intermediate, but this is for Piedmont Elementary. And so we'll have that whole group trained, and we would like to try to train a school at a time, and we'll just keep moving through, but we have to have professional development money, and that's why we're reaching out to these entities to try to stretch that professional development, that Title IV money that we have a little bit further so that we can do more. We couldn't have done 2 schools probably and still do the other stuff, the PLC and RTI that we want to do, without their help. So we're really grateful to Service Ministries to the foundation and to CKH Foundation.
Good stuff.
I remember reading the notes from the teachers on the training and just how great it was, so. Time well spent.
Yeah, and
Money well spent.
I've got a lot of feedback from some teachers on how well it was as well. And then I met Toby, who's our contact at the Mooneyham tournament this weekend. It was interesting to hear what he was talking
Yeah. I don't want to jinx myself, but I can tell you that to get 60 teachers and TAs and educators on the day before school starts to agree to write down nice things about a professional development is almost unheard of. Lisa sat through the whole thing. She had not been through it either. So do you have anything to share?
It was really incredible. And I think one of my favorite quotes from a teacher was, I've known what I needed to do, but I didn't know how to do it. And so the whole 2 days was just engaged in playing all of the games, creating the social contracts together, just like you would in the classroom, and just really getting to know the people around the table and across the room on a deeper level. And I mean, it was incredible. There was not a single negative comment about it. And Drew's right. The teachers spent their 2 days before school started 100% engaged in what was going on. It was a great 2 days. I'm very excited about what that means for Piedmont Elementary.
I can't overstate the fact that these PI teachers, Jennifer Warner's teachers, spent 2 days before school started when they always want to work on, they've got more things than they can do to get their rooms ready, to do all the things that need to be done. And they bought into the fact that this was going to be a significant change in how we operate in our schools. And that's what they said in those little note cards that they wrote. And it has, it's been significant. I've had parents tell me that they can see a difference in PI from their the way their kid comes home.
That's great. That's a tough age group.
Yeah.
And 7th and 8th grade, too. They all are.
They all are till they're 18.
That's good stuff. Money well spent.
Yeah.
So
Question.
I'll make a motion, we approve the agreement with Capturing Kids' Heart Professional Development for $24,500 general fund.
I'll second.
How about it, Matt?
I'll second.
Jared with the motion, Matt with the second. Can we get a vote?
Matt,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Neil, yes, Jared,
Yes.
Lane.
Yes. All right, moving on to item F, discuss and take possible action regarding the addition of all esports games supported and regulated by the following organizations: the OSSAA, the OKSE, and the OESL.
Eddie, do you want to take this or you want me?
Esports has lots of opportunities for our kids, and one of the things we always... Thank you. One of the things we always want to do is provide those opportunities for them. So currently, it looked as though we were competing at the OSSA level, which is great. But there are also two other organizations that offer state competitions. I've had the privilege of hosting that OKSE competition for 2 years when I was in Oklahoma City Schools, and it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal to get to see those kids participate. So they have a list of games that they offer for their competitions, and we just ask that we approve those games so our esports teams can compete at the highest level.
This is a dumb question.
Yeah.
What are the games?
They are on the website. I can certainly pull them up and read them off to you.
I just think it's wild that we're playing video games in school now. I think it's awesome.
It is an extracurricular activity, just like basketball. And these kids were, so we've been doing this for years. Somebody that's been here longer than me might tell us. Lisa, do you know, has it been 4 or 5? 4 or 5. Okay.
Yeah, I remember.
So we've been doing this for a while. It's a commitment to the district. The district has to pay for the computers and the time in the classroom with these different. So they 7th hour or after school we have a coach, and they play video games. Eddie, I want you to tell me if you can just guess, and if not, just make up 2 numbers. So I want you to tell them was it like 3 different games they were playing with the OSAA? Was it just, it was
They,
just
they
a
have
few?
five games that they're playing with OSAA.
And now, how many can they play
Oh
with
man,
this?
there's 20 plus, and the cool thing about offering it to the multiple different organizations is there's team games that we can also establish. So teams of 5, teams of 6, and it builds camaraderie, it builds connection. It's what we would be looking for any of our organizations.
And I'm going to tell you, you guys won't believe this, but kids can make money playing video games.
Yeah.
They do it professionally, just like, lots of other games. So I'm excited that our kids have an opportunity. When this came along, this is an example of having Eddie coming from Oklahoma City, where I had no idea we weren't taking advantage of that. And he's going like, why aren't we doing this? I don't have any idea. Because you're an idiot. That's why.
No, but to take that a step further, these two organizations, they also get college scholarships for our kids. There's lots of schools that are giving scholarship for esports now. We have some of the best esports facility in our local colleges. UCO has a phenomenal esports room, and they're giving scholarships for kids to go and get an education while playing something that they love.
They have Double Dribble from 1989.
No, unfortunately. And they don't have Paperboy either. I'm disappointed.
Yeah. Tech Mobile.
You gotta know Atari with the single hand.
No, we just hired a kid, a Piedmont alum from Southwestern that got his college paid for esports. And so
Wow.
it's
That's
a big
amazing.
deal.
go.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I'm glad to see that take off. Any other questions or comments?
I would have excelled in it in about 99. James Bond Goldeneye. I would have.
Yes, Goldeneye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we approve the addition of all esports games that are supported by the OSSA, OKSE, and OESL.
I second.
All right, motion by Lane, second by Derek. Thanks. Can we get a vote?
Matt,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Neil, yes, Jared, yes, Lane,
Yes. All right, Part G, discuss and take possible action regarding agreement with Instructure Incorporated for parchment transcript services, $5,587.35 from general fund.
So the State Department of Ed has been paying for this for a number of years. And it is really nice for our parents. It's nice for our kids, juniors and seniors, that need a transcript to go to various schools, because they can just request it and it goes electronically, and that's that. They're not paying for that anymore. We feel like it's worth $5,500 to do that for our parents and our kids, so we're just going to eat the cost. Do you have anything to add, Mark?
No, it's just the ease of that as well, the Drew hit on it. There are a lot of colleges and universities now that's the way that they take transcripts. They won't accept emailed transcripts, which would be the old school way of doing that. So it's kind of a necessary thing too.
It's a 3-year agreement. Is that what it looks like on here? Where it increases a little bit every year?
We can only do 1-year agreement. We'll come back to you each year, and I feel confident that it'll go up every year.
Okay.
Questions, comments?
Nope.
I'll make a motion to approve agreement with Infrastructure, Inc. for parchment transcript services totaling $5,587.35.
I'll second.
Motion by Neil, second by Jared. Can we get a vote?
Matt,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Neil, yes, Jared,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes. All right, moving on to item H, discuss and take possible action regarding memorandum of understanding with Oklahoma City Police for school surveillance camera system access.
So one of the nice things about having a former OKCPD officer as your head of security here is that he's got a lot of connections. And so they came, Oklahoma City Police Department came to him and said, we are making these agreements with metro area schools, large school districts. And what we want to do is not ever touch your system unless you've got a major, like something bad happening, a shooter or anything that we would need their help. Then they will be able to log in, because we're giving them permission. We're giving them the rights to log in to any one of our schools and be able to help. So this could literally save lives if if we ever got into that kind of situation. My one concern, and Tommy's too, Scott's concern was, well, we don't want people just logging in and looking into our schools, And they said, oh no, that won't happen because they have to do a lot of paperwork anytime that they log in. It is it's a FERPA issue, and so they have to have a reason to be in there. So they assure us that they won't be in without an incident.
So how does that work for them to log in? We have to call them and report it to them, or they have like?
No, so Tommy will give them credentialing information, so they'll have login. There he is. I'll just let him tell you yourself.
So they put a box in our facility. Thank you. They put a box in our facility. The box is what they have credentials to, and that box connects to our cameras. So we can gatekeep as well. However, they will have access, and their access is very limited. And like he said, it's logged heavily. So if something happens, it puts a red flag out there that something has happened, then it gives them permission to log in. If they log into it just all willy-nilly, then they have to say why. And then we get notified, they get notified, it starts a chain reaction. So
I guess my question was like, how do they get so is there like a panic button we press that then activates it and lets them know they should jump in?
No. So with our rave panic system, everybody starts getting alerted, and that gives them justification to log in right then.
Okay.
And they can also give other police departments access as they need.
So how would they work with Piedmont Police on schools here in the town of Piedmont?
So that's where Scott and I would work together to see, and obviously Drew, to work together to see what they have access to, who has access to what schools. It's really whatever information we want to give them. It's customizable.
And Tommy, we have a log that shows, like, we'll know if they're getting in there without
Correct.
us knowing.
Yes, and that can be
Right?
that can be a stipulation that we have. If they access, then we need an email immediately, or we need a text message, and that's the way I would prefer it. If somebody's accessing our system, we are here to protect our staff and our children, so we need to make sure that is appropriately used.
Internally, you can make it where you get some type of note when someone else logs in.
Yes, of course.
I can, without being able to predict the future, I can tell you this. Tommy knows what's going on this campus on the weekends, because he calls me and says, hey, do you know so-and-so's water? And I'm like, no, Tommy, it's probably fine. But he knows, like, you need that guy, right? He checks things. He takes care of us in the electronic format. We appreciate him.
And you said they're doing this in other districts in the metro as well?
Deer Creek has it. Oklahoma City has it. There's
Putnam City's going to, right?
Putnam City.
I'm assuming our own police department will have this sort of same thing, right?
I don't know that Piedmont will have it.
That's what will work.
That's what all the systems working towards, is to expand it. Yukon, Mustang, all of them being one central area. They have a field officer at that location, to monitor things going on at their district. But that's the whole idea, is it begins to expand out, so it incorporates all around Oklahoma City. Since I think we have a large number of Oklahoma City police officers, kids go to school here, everybody, the counterterrorism intelligence center is part of this system, and they monitor all the activity on threat management, threat assessment throughout the state. But that's the whole idea, is it keeps expanding. The Piedmont chain at Piedmont PD can get with Oklahoma City and see how they can work out that agreement, and to be able to log in to that core system that's monitoring our. It's a big deal. It just gives us real-time access if we have a situation at our schools, whether it's a large fire or whether it's a threat to the school. It needs to be an active threat, not just, we have intel that, an online threat, they're just not gonna turn the cameras on and start watching all of our schools. It needs to be in real time.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Another step in the right direction for school safety.
Yeah. I make a motion, we approve the memorandum of understanding with Oklahoma City Police for school surveillance camera system access. I'll second.
All right, motion by Jared, second by Neil. Can we get a vote?
Matt,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Neil, yes, Jared,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes. All right, moving on to item I, discuss and take possible action regarding adoptions and revisions of the following district policies. 1, the revision for DAA non-discrimination.
So you saw this, if you looked at it in your policy folder, and just to remind you, if it's in red, that's new language that we've put in. Black is the, black font is what was already there. Patty worked on this when she, do you want to say anything, Patty? She does not.
It's a requirement by law. It was Senate Bill 942. It's also a requirement for accreditation.
So essentially, we took the new policies verbiage and inserted it into ours.
Yes, and we had to add anti-Semitism to the anti-discrimination policy.
Somebody ask her another question. She's got the microphone now. We worked hard on this.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
And we had the athletic director as the point of contact, and you changed that.
Oh, yes. Contacts have been modified.
Matt didn't want to be the
Yeah.
point of contact.
So we didn't list a position for a contact. We just put the address and phone number.
We listed positions, just not names.
They're up in that paragraph above. See them? Inquiries
Secondary
concerning the
education.
application of the,
Title 6.
Yep.
Okay.
you see it? Yeah.
So Mark got the
Oh, you don't?
nod.
Mine's marked.
We're to Title 9.
Right here.
Got it.
Title 6, Title 9.
Yep.
504.
What else do you have? Anything?
All right, I'll make a motion that we approve the revision of policy DAA non-discrimination.
All second?
Motion by Lane, second by Derek. Can we get a vote?
Matt,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Neil, yes, Jared,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes. All right, moving on to item 5, consent agenda. Discuss and vote to approve all consent items. These items may be approved by one board motion unless any board member desires to have a separate vote on any or all of these items. Any questions or comments on any of the consent agenda items? Saw the barbecue competition. That piqued my interest.
what's our student transfer capacities?
Well, we do that 4 times a year by law, and we actually upped our capacity at the high school back in August because we had some transfers we wanted to allow in. That's the only place we have capacity. We've got, 6 or 7 at each grade level for high school, 9, 10, 11, 12. Everything else is, we're above capacity.
Is that including virtual, or is that separate from this?
That's including virtual. What we thought we were going to be able, matter of fact, the law allows us to do the virtual thing, but the State Department had a different view on that, and we have to follow to be accredited. We have to follow what they say, so we couldn't do the virtual thing. That's why we had virtual kids who thought they were coming to school, and then we said, well, we can't do it that way. So that's why we raised the number of few, because it wasn't fair to them. They thought that that's what we had told them in the summer.
Questions or comments on consent agenda items?
I'll make a motion to approve items A through J on the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Motion by Neil, second by Jared. Can we get a vote?
Matt,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Neil, yes, Jared, Lane,
Yes. All right, moving on to item 6, financial reports.
Okay, if you will go to the graphs. We started getting our state aid in August, so that is the biggest change from last month is that state category increased. But back kind of to the estimate of needs, the 1.8 million that it increased this year, just for you to watch throughout the year, 1.3 of that million is in the district category for general fund. So between taxes and interest, if you remember, our interest, or expected interest last year was about 240,000 because we just weren't sure what was going to happen with the sweep account, and then it ended up being significantly more than that in our over collections. So we did account for more interest to come in this year. So that is an extra 455,000 in that category. So that's where you'll see the biggest bulk of revenue change. And then over to the building fund, again, not much change at all. We just collected a little bit more in taxes. Child nutrition, not much change there. We haven't started filing claims yet, so nothing's come in. So we're just now getting our application approved. And then bond fund has stayed the same because that sale was back in the summer. And sinking fund, we just brought in a little bit more tax revenue. But overall, not a super eventful month in August. Any questions?
Questions, comments?
No.
Matt, Derek? Neil? Jared? Me. All right, thank you. All right, moving on to item 7, executive session. Part A, vote to convene or not to convene into executive session to discuss employment as listed on attachment C pursuant to 25 OS 307B1 and conduct an ongoing evaluation of the superintendent pursuant to 25 OS 307B1.
I make a motion to convene in executive session.
I'll second. Motion by Neil, second by Lane. Can we get a vote?
Matt,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Neil, yes, Jared,
Yes.
Lane.
Yes. All right, the time is 6:48.
Piedmont is the place to be. Teachers want to teach here. Parents want their kids to be here. And so we kind of create some of our own problems by the fact that when you're good, people come towards that.
Piedmont really drew me in terms of doing what's best for kids and making sure that everything we do is for the betterment of the students and the families. And so that is something I knew I wanted to be a part of.
Because that's what we need. We need a new intermediate. We need additional for that age group. That age group is big out here and they just need some room.
I really like how Dr. Eichelberger created a group of community citizens, and we talked about what are the biggest needs. It's classrooms. That's how we're going to support our growth, and that's what we need. And so that collective group ratified that intention of we need more classrooms. That's priority.
I think we're going to continue to grow. You know, the research that we had done by the Zonda Group out of Dallas said that we could be, in 10 years, we could be at 8,000. I think that's probably conservative. I think we could be higher than that, but we've got a plan on 8,000, and so we've got to do our due diligence to plan for what Piedmont looks like in the next 10 years.
The thought of being able to add more classrooms and more space and keep that as a safe environment is like a bonus. You know, it's like, yes, sign me up.
Splitting our school into two would put us right back to where we were 11 years ago. And, you know, even with room for growth after that. So I think that would be huge for staff and our kids, because we want every kid to walk in there to feel like they know someone, they have a personal experience, they want to come to school. And we don't want it to feel like crowd management.
That means class sizes that are reasonable. It means having space for kids to engage in learning activities, to be able to collaborate with one another, to really have the full experience of an elementary classroom.
The more we can do to create a connectivity between what the kids in band do with the rest of, you know, the athletes on the team, the cheer and the pom group, and the rest of the community, it really makes it a more impactful evening for anybody that attends. We have some instruments that are older, that are in still pretty good condition, but the ones that are prior to the 1990s, they're at a point where they can't be repaired much more than where they are now. And when you're talking about trying to make things work with duct tape and finagling things that way, it really places a hardship on the student to adequately do what they're trying to do.
When I first started, there were like nowhere near as many intermediate students in band as there are now. Like both of my little siblings are in band, and I've been going to their concerts, and it's crazy to see how it's almost doubled, maybe tripled the amount of people that there are in band.
It is of the utmost importance that we are good stewards of the school, of the taxpayers' money. We're not going to increase taxes.
I love children. We are growing so much, and we don't have enough buses. And you know, like next year, I think we already need like 3 or 4 more.
Every time we see a strip of land, they start clearing away the old trees, we start planning it ahead of time. Okay, how are we going to service this neighborhood? How many houses are going to be in this neighborhood? How many children are going to be per house? How many buses are we going to have to send for how many sites? So we start as early as possible to try and get ready.
We want to have a plan for every student and know that it's the safest plan we can have. It's an investment in school safety, and that to me is, it's just non-negotiable.
Humans are wired for progress. We need forward movement.
Advancement.
Always looking to take the next step.
You take it to the next level.
$100 more shots.
100 more swings.
100 more laps. We know that progress requires commitment. That desire for progress was evident.
When Piedmont citizens approved bond issues in 2016 and 2020 that allowed for major district-wide improvements.
We were able to renovate our athletic facilities to a level that makes them among the best in the state.
A new gymnasium with over 1,500 seats.
Softball and baseball fields fit for perennial title chasers.
Tennis facilities ideal for hosting top-tier tournaments. The people of Piedmont stepped up. They tapped that human desire for progress. The young leaders in our community have never been better served.
We have a saying around here.
Don't be the same. Be better.
Be better.
Be better.
Be better. Be better.
Be better!
That's the Wildcat way.
Let's go Wildcats!
Piedmont is the place to be. Teachers want to teach here. Parents want their kids to be here. And so we kind of create some of our own problems by the fact that when you're good, people come towards that.
Piedmont really drew me in terms of doing what's best for kids and making sure that everything we do is for the betterment of the students and the families. And so that is something I knew I wanted to be a part of.
Our audience left us.
All right, we are returning to open session. The board entered into executive session at 6:48 PM. Oops, we returned to open session at 7:38 PM. The board entered into executive session at 6:48 PM to discuss, 1, employment as listed on attachment C pursuant to 25 OS 307B1, and 2, to conduct an ongoing evaluation of the superintendent pursuant to 25 OS 307B1. Those present in executive session were Lane Jones, Jared Mosier, Neil Cass, Derek Jones, Matt Nelson, Dr. Drew Eichelberger. No action was taken. Right, so we'll move on to item 8, action item, discuss and take possible action on employment as listed on attachment C.
Make a motion, we approve the employment listed on attachment C.
I'll second.
Motion by Derek, second by Jared. We get a vote?
Matt?
Yes.
Derek?
Yes.
Neil, yes. Jared?
Yes.
Lane?
Yes. All right, moving on to item 9, new business.
No new business.
No new business. Item 10, superintendent's report.
Yes, sir. So we had 60 staff members. You know all this, so I'm probably not gonna, but that's a picture of them all. There's Toby on the right. You, who was it that met him? You did. Yeah. They are a happy group of teachers and TAs, and I'm proud of them for the work that they've done and will continue to do. So these are some of the things that were in those feedback cards. Thank you for providing the training. It was amazing. This is exactly what our building needed. CKH training was so helpful and encouraging. Last 2 days have been impactful and meaningful. This was impactful. I truly loved every minute. So the next training that you voted on tonight is November 13th and 14th. If you get a chance, come by and just watch 15 minutes, whatever you, just hang out for a little bit and watch it. It is, no matter when you get there, between 8 and 4, you're going to see some good stuff. Enrollment is 5497, which is 85 more than we had last September. Same date, September 5th is when that was taken. Transportation in August did a 3-day CDL training, and the in-service provides safety reviews and helps keep our Wildcats safe, our little Wildcats and our big Wildcats. I want to thank all the parents and guardians for their patience and support in the first month of school. We have really had a phenomenal, the car rider lines have just been very smooth, very quick. Even the one here at the high school, since we've moved it to all one way, has been really good, and want to thank the police department for coming and helping solve some of those issues. I want to thank everybody, the kids especially, but the kids, parents, teachers, everybody, for the bell-to-bell no cell policy. It's just been seamless. No problems. Kids are doing great. They're just doing what kids do when they don't have their cell phone. They talk to each other. Yeah.
It's amazing how that works.
It is. Thanks to teachers and staff for the hard work and extra time they put in at the start of school. You can't imagine how much time teachers put in for bulletin boards and getting their lessons ready and everything prepared exactly the way they want it. It's hours and hours of Saturdays and Sundays and nights and weekends. It's they work really hard, and I appreciate that. And then thanks to our administrators, they do the exact same thing, and you board members, you are the lowest paid of all the people that we have in our district. You get paid zero. You're here as a volunteer, and you do all the extra work and phone calls and emails, and you follow the procedures and chain of command and all the things that we do, and so much that no one ever knows about, me included. So thank you for your work and attention to making this a great district. And that is it.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, moving on to item 11, adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Neil with the motion, Jared with the second. Can we get a vote?
Matt? Yes. Derek?
Yes.
Neil, yes. Jared? Yes. Lane?
Yes. All right, time is 7:43.
All have stuff to sign.